Good day, good day, good day, everyone. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. We are live today. We are live today for Living Life in Joy, Mommy. Yes, we are. And we are live because we are celebrating. We are celebrating the 1 year anniversary of Living Life in Joy on New Thought Media Network. It was January 13th, 2021. So I am just so grateful and I am just so excited to celebrate this anniversary. To celebrate this anniversary. So we have a dynamic show. Let me say Happy New Year in real time. I hope everyone's having a very blessed New Year's thus far and will continue. We have a wonderful show installed to celebrate. I have a amazing guest today. I could not think of a better person to celebrate this 1 year anniversary with today, Sue. I couldn't think of another person on the planet as my guest for today. You're going to meet her soon. You're going to meet her soon. So let's go, set, ready.
You saw it coming, right? You saw it coming. You saw that build-up she was doing. Of course, it's me. It's Sacred Rights, the producer for Living Life in Joy and for Sip with Rev Melissa. I'll be joining her on screen in just a moment. But just a couple quick things. Shout out to Rev Mel. Shout out to New Thought Media Network for giving us this space, this opportunity to talk about joy, to give sips of wisdom, to talk about being a hero, all the things that they've given us an opportunity to do. We appreciate them. Shout out to Reverend Robert. Shout out to ntmedia.org. That's the website, ntmedia.org. Go there, donate. It is an actual 501c3 nonprofit, so it's a tax-deductible donation. Give, support, give. All right. That said, Rev Mel wants me to do her bio. You know everything there is to know about Rev Mel if you've been watching this show. But we're going to do the bio. We're going to do the bio anyway. So Rev Mel's Ministry of Joy supports people in connecting to their yes. She is an ordained interfaith minister, affiliated CSL minister, that's Centers for Spiritual Living, CSL licensed practitioner, and certified life coach with a master's degree in spiritual psychology. Doesn't that sound lovely? On August 1st of last year, she was appointed as the spiritual director, senior minister at Rockland Centers for Spiritual Living in New York City. She lives joyfully in New York with her husband, twin daughters, and Davy the cat. And who doesn't like Davy the cat? We've all seen the tail go back and forth on many different shows. We'll see if Davy the cat pops in today. So without further ado, I'm going to reintroduce you to Rev Mel with fireworks. Here we go. Congratulations, 1 year anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I had some of those New Year's Eve blower things that make the noise. Yes. Yeah. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for the congratulations, Pam, Miss Bliss, Karen. Thank you, Sue. Thank you again, Mommy. Thank you. Thank you all who are watching. I'm so excited. Thank you, Sekou. Sekou has been with me on this journey from the very beginning. If you don't, let me tell this quick story. If y'all don't know the story.
Tell the story. That's gonna be the first question anyway. So tell the story.
Go ahead. Let me be a good guest.
Right. So the first question is, how did this all come about? Rev Mel, please tell us how all this happened.
Well, what had happened was we were in this pandemic called Corona. And
That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it sounds familiar, right? And Sekou and I were on the phone talking, and we were just talking about, things that we've been wanting to do, And now we're in this space. We're like in the house. Like, what can we do? And I had mentioned that, I always want to go live on Facebook and just share some inspiration. And he said, do it. And I was like, yeah. And I started, coming with excuses and whatever. And he said, I dare you. So if y'all don't know me, I'm a very, very competitive person when it comes to things like that. So if you dare me, I'm going to do it. So August 6th, 2020, say cool. August 6th, 2020, I got on Facebook. I went live and I shared about 4 minutes and 34 seconds of inspiration. And it was a hot mess because I was sideways. I had the camera turned the wrong way. My phone was turned the wrong way. But I did it. And so I was debriefing with Sekou afterwards. And I was like, oh my God, I was horrible. And he was like, but you did it. And I was like, I know I did. I said, I'm going to do it again. And he would say, like, next week you're going to do it? I said, no, tomorrow. He was like, tomorrow? I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it again tomorrow. So the next day I got back on there, got my phone the right way and did it again, and have been doing it just about every single day since August 6th, 2020. And it has been a life-changing experience for me.
Yeah. So I'm just going to add to that story that at the time I was very much in the doing movement. I got the hoodie on especially for this occasion, because that was the very beginning of my doing. And for me, it was just about doing stuff, pushing past excuses for me. And so at the time I had a for real chip on my shoulder about doing, because I had a chip on my shoulder for me. Like I knew that I needed to push past my excuses to get to it and to do stuff. So anytime I heard anybody talking about they want to do something, I was in their face like, you need to do it. You need to do it. What you waiting for?
All up in here.
All up in people's faces. I'm not as pushy now. I've settled into it. I have been an inspiration to some along the journey. But at the time, I was like, come on. What you waiting for? Let's go. So even that said, though, I was really shocked when she said she was going to do it again the next day. Because, we were doing that debrief and she was holding her head, talking about, oh, that was so terrible. And I didn't think she'd do it ever again. When she said she's going to do it again the next day, I was like, okay, let's go. Let's go. And then every day. And that was SIP. That was the show that is now known as SIP. So tell us about Living Life in Joy. What was the impetus?
Yes.
And while I'm gonna get my light together, you got the sexy light on you. Let me catch up.
Here we go. Yes.
In Hollywood.
So, yes. So, Living Life in Joy. So, so that was SIP's journey, Spirit in Practice. And shout out to Reverend Jennifer for giving me that name, SIP, Spirit in Practice. And so Living Life in Joy has been with me, that phrase, that mantra has been with me for quite some time. And so I say I'm living life in joy. And so when New Thought Media Network reached out to me, November of 2020, Robert, who's the founder and creator of New Thought Media, said, I really want to broadcast SIP on New Thought Media Network. And I was like, yes, right? And then we were talking, preparing for that. And I said, I have another show idea, Living Life in Joy, where I would interview people who are living their life in joy, who are connected to their yes. And he said, yes, let's do it, right? So that became the weekly show. It aired on January 13th. I think Sekou just took my picture or something.
I did. Be ready.
It aired on January 13th of 2021. And it's a weekly show versus SIP, which is on Monday through Friday. But Living Life in Joy, before it became Living Life in Joy, it was kind of like what I was calling Sunday in Praise. So it was still me, talking about inspirational things, but it was kind of like a mini Sunday service, kind of, sort of, it had like a little mini sermon. and other little things in it. So that kind of transformed into Living Life in Joy with the added benefit of sharing the platform with someone else who was doing their joy work. And there you have it.
Yeah. So you mentioned briefly Reverend Robert reaching out to you from New Thought Media Network. Unpack that for us. Tell us about when he reached out to you. How did you first react, and how did it evolve into you being connected to your yes?
Yeah. So, people reach when you're on social media, and everyone has had this experience. Just random people reach out to you, right? They slip into your DMs and they reach out, right? And I'm always suspect, I'm like, no, no, no. And so I get Robert's instant message on Facebook, and I was intrigued. I was like, it had like a different energy around it, but I was still a little suspicious, y'all. Right. And so I connected with my soul brother here, Say Cool. And I was like, this guy reached out to me, and I'm thinking about, reaching back. And I can't remember what you said, Seiko. I don't know if you told me to go ahead or you was like, girl, don't do it. I don't
remember. Great, because I was still in my doing phase. Go ahead, see what he talk about.
Yes, yes.
Reach out to him. See what's up.
Yeah, he certainly was. So I responded back, told him I would love to speak to him. And we connected. And everything that he was saying was so in alignment with how I see, this work, and to expand it, because 2021 became my year of expansion. I kicked it off with the prayer of Jabaz, that you would increase my territory. And so, it was like perfect alignment with what was happening. And he has been Robert, New Thought Media Network has been such a support to everything that I want to do. Because, I would drop in and do a meditation with the moon at 4 a.m. or 11 o'clock at night. Hadn't run it past him, just on doing it, but he's always so supportive. So Robert, thank you so much for all that you do, and for you being connected to your yes.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, Reverend Robert was the very first guest on Living Life in Joy, right?
He had to be.
He
had to be the very first guest on the show. And to celebrate Living Life in Joy, part of the celebration for this week is I'm replaying some of my favorite Living Life in Joy episodes. And the first one that I'm going to replay is that one with Robert.
Which is the first episode. Show. So that only makes sense. That's the very first show.
Yes, yes.
So that leads me into another question. So you've interviewed so many people about so many things. You talked about yoga and people in the unhoused movement. You interviewed people about the Bhagavad Gita and sound baths. What really stands out for you from your body of work for this show?
Oh, that's such a good question. Say cool. I have to say, like, I've enjoyed every single show that I've done, and I've enjoyed every single guest that I've had on. And there's a couple of things. One, interviewing people who I've known for a while, and to see their transformation, right? So I could barely contain myself when I have on people that I've done coaching work with, and they come on and they are so clearly in their yes. And they thank me for being a part of that journey. So, I think of Regina Smithwick, who is on fire right now. She is in her yes. I think about Stephanie Archer, another dynamic life coach now. Oh, I think about people that I went to seminary with. And so we were just starting our journey together. And then Laura and Kathy, who have this wonderful organization called Beloved Now, they were my guests on the show. And so, we were in seminary together, and we were like, what are we going to do with this? And we were all like, I don't know. I don't know. But we in it. So we're going to see what's going to happen. And it unfolds. It unfolds because we trust and we have faith that we are on our purpose. And
Amen.
then, so that's one category. And then another category is meeting people that I have no idea who they are, right? And there's just something about what they're doing. And then I reach out or you reach out, and then we have them on the show. So the whole community of people who are providing services to the unhoused, oh my God, right? Oh my God. Just to get a little bit more closer to what that is and how we all could be of support of that has been a it's been a blessing. That I was an unexpected blessing. And then also lending the platform to you. You my guest host on many occasions, and you always bring in dynamic people. Harriet Cole, the founder of not the founder, the captain in Nashville for Black Men Run. Just all these incredible people, organizations who are doing work on the forefront of the unhoused. So it's all about us just sharing, right? Like just sharing our joy, sharing our purpose, sharing what we are in the world, right? We're here to be of service. And you can't be selfish. You can't be in service and be selfish at the same time, right?
I share.
So I think that's probably a roundabout answer.
No, that was an amazing answer.
Thank
And
you.
you talked about essentially pivoting many times. Like what the show started off as is not what the show is now. You pivoted there. You even did some pivots on Sit with Rev Melissa. So talk about pivoting a bit. Before you do that, you mentioned Regina Smithwick. Shout out to Regina. She's having me on her podcast tonight. So tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Check her out. And I met her through you. So I appreciate all the connections, in this space that we're in. So pivoting, talk about the evolution of this show.
Yeah, I think I have to go back a little bit with the pivot, because some of you may know that I have a background in human resources. So most of my career has been in the human services, not-for-profit space, and leadership positions and human resources. And unbeknownst to me, all of those experiences, although I might not have realized it at the time, was preparing me for this, right? And in so many ways. But the thing that I loved about being in HR, and I still do consulting work in HR, but the thing that I always loved was being in conversation with people. If someone would come in my office and say they're like upset, usually when someone comes to HR, they're upset. And I was telling them to sit down, and they're telling me their story, and they're expecting me to say what I think the typical HR person might say, like, well, do you want to file a complaint? Do you want to? So that would never be the conversation. I would always have the conversation be about who they are being. What is this bringing up for you? Right? And usually they will be shocked to have someone ask them that question, but immediately it would do something to the energy. You could feel the shift, and we would have this heart-to-heart conversation. And so I always love that element. What just came to my mind was that was my ministry then. That was my ministry then. And so it's just started to evolve and to pivot and pivot and pivot to the point where I need more of that. I need more of that, and less, talking about what our insurance is going to look like next week, or preparing to respond to a lawsuit by a disgruntled employee. I needed more of the joy. I needed more of the connection. And so I stepped away. I stepped away from HR, and I would say, Michael Bernard Beckwith's quote, you get pushed. Oh, I'm going to lose it.
until you get pulled.
Yes, you get pushed until you get pulled, but it's something more than that. So the vision started pulling me. Instead of me being pushed, I was starting to get pulled by the vision. And so that's been the biggest pivot. That's been the biggest pivot, to know that I could have my heart's desire, you know, is a huge pivot. And it's a pivot that all of us can experience. It's not unique to me.
Man, you stepped into your yes and got connected.
Yes.
So you mentioned something really important, the idea of being prepared for something that you don't even know is coming yet. So tie that in for us and help people understand how that can happen.
Yeah. One word, y'all: trust. Trust. And sometimes we have these sayings that sound corny, or it's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But trusting the process is a real thing. It's a real thing. So one of the things that I always say, and I've been saying for probably a decade now, is everything happens for my highest good. So before I made the pivot, I found myself in organizations working that the energy was so not in alignment with the core of who I am, that I was miserable. You hear me? Miserable. Sitting in a parking lot in my car crying, kind of miserable, right? And even in that, my spirit was saying, everything, even this, everything is happening for your highest good. So when my boss would be upset about something and telling me, whatever that was negative, in my mind, I would say, and I think I said to her one time, what I know is everything happens for my highest good. Everything. And, when I left that situation, God has set it up so perfectly for me in the timing, because it was right when the pandemic everything was getting shut down. You know, all of these resources were becoming available. And what I know is that God is my source. So there's a multitude of resources that are available to me, knowing that God is my source. And so resources just started flooding in. Resources started flooding in. So I did not have any worry whatsoever. I was trusting that God is my source.
Ashe.
Ashe.
So we're going to take a little break to do some fireworks. And now that we're back after that commercial break, let's talk about the merch. Let's talk about all the Sip Joy merch going on. This is our brief commercial interruption. So tell us about the merch.
So one of the things that I was inspired to do, actually by Sekou's encouragement also, was to have a joy line. And so the Sip Joy mug was my very first joy product. And I say that it's almost 2 cups of joy, 16 ounces of joy, that it's just beautiful. And it's a reminder that you sip, you go within. That's where the joy is. And then I have long sleeve and short sleeve t-shirts that say live life and joy and connect to your yes. My most favorite thing that I have, this is my Congregation of Joy rocking it out. So you see Nan right there with the glasses on, and she has on the joy, joy, joy socks. And so that's my charity joy merchandise that supports the work of the Hero Ministry movement. And so 100% of the proceeds from the Joy, Joy, Joy socks goes to Sekou's Hero Ministry movement. So check me out on Etsy. Check me out on Etsy and find something that reminds you of where your joy is. It's within.
Okay, that's our commercial break. So tell us how you've grown from both of these shows, really, but specifically Living Life in Joy. How's it fed you?
You know, to wake up every day and to be doing exactly what I want to do, And to have the flexibility to do that has been my life's dream clarified. Because I didn't know really what it was, over time, but it's become clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer to me. And now I'm experiencing it. To have the flexibility to do what I love to do. There's nothing better than that. And to do it by being in service. So to be in service, have the joy, have the flexibility, have the connection, have the expansion, have the demonstration every day. Oh, come on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't beat that.
Yeah. And for those people that are out there watching and saying, oh, but that's you, Rev Mel. I don't know how to get all the things. I'm going to need you to speak to that. But before you do, let me just say, so we talk in the green room before the show, every show. And there's so many times when Rev Mel shows up in this space in the green room, like she don't feel well, something's off with her. There's all these things. And then the self that she becomes once the show starts is a completely different self. It actually like plugs her in before my eyes. And so it really is being connected to your yes. I can see it. And when you say in the morning, oh, I don't feel well, I'm like, well, do your show because that is what will make you feel better. So that's
Absolutely.
what it feels like to be connected to your yes. But for the people watching, are like, yeah, but that's you, Rev, man. That's you. Help them understand how they can make these things happen for themselves.
Look, so, I'm a reverend, right? So I'm not going to get preachy on you, though. But the number one thing is your personal relationship with something larger than you, right? Because when you think you out here doing it all by yourself, that will lay you out. That will exhaust you, right? That would make you feel such stress and such overwhelm, right? So I had to get that it's not me. It's the indwelling spirit that is doing it. And I am saying, yes, I am doing the work, right? So we talk about the beingness and the doingness. It works hand in hand. I just can't sit around and say, okay, God, you got it. No, no. I have to be engaged, right? So it's a baby step, y'all. April 6th, 2020, getting on Facebook Live like this was a baby step. Talking for 4 minutes and 34 seconds was a baby step. Now I could barely keep the show under a half an hour, So it's a baby step. We all have the same. Oh, we are so necessary. We're doing the 30-day mental diet. And the first day is, who are you? Who are you? If we could get the answer to that question and really believe it, that's the vitamin that I take every single day through my spiritual practice. So a relationship with something higher than you, the divine, the universe, the trees, Mother Nature, whatever it is, right? And then having a spiritual practice that is non-negotiable. Because like Sekou said, there is many days where I just want to put the covers over my head, right? But I say, no, let me get up. Let me do my spiritual practice. Let me find something to be grateful for. Let me get going. And then knowing that I'm going to be plugging into something that energizes me, that just sets me on fire. But we forget. I forget. We forget. So that's why we got to do it every day. That's why we have to do it every day. So if I can be in my yes, everybody that's watching this right now, that's watching it later, is also can be in your yes. But first you got to say yes. Say yes to your yes and then do something about it. A baby step.
Ashe. Shout out to Linda for this comment. She loves connecting with us every day. It's very cool.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you.
And of course, it's no surprise we ran out of time because we got so much to talk about. I already knew I wasn't going to do the joy questions because I knew you would be expecting the joy questions. So here's my final curveball. I want you to respond to this. So that'll be your final comment. Tell us about that.
If you don't know, Sekou does this to me often. He'll just like put something up on the screen that I have no knowledge that's going to happen. And that was one of them. So sheep. So last week, the theme for SIP was sheep. And metaphorically in the Bible, there's Jesus talks about being the good shepherd and how the flock, the sheep, listen, but every now and then you get a sheep that's going to wander off somewhere. Metaphorically, sheep represents our thoughts, our thinking, our patterns of thinking. So you might have some pattern of thinking that is way out of, way gone somewhere, like totally wandered off, and you got to bring it back. You got to bring it back. If that sheep is saying, I am unworthy, I am unworthy, I am unworthy, you got to bring it back. I am worthy, I am worthy. Don't let those sheep, those thoughts, those patterns get out of control, and then you're lost. You're lost. So that's what sheep is. So if you didn't see last week's SIP, check out the replay. That was such a fun series. And in connection with that, what we are doing, and we started this last year, is we are affirming our quality of God, our quality of the divine. So whatever your quality is that you want to experience more of, embody, that's what we're doing for 2022. So I'm just going to put it out there here. Put in the comments your quality of the divine that you want to experience in 2022. I would add it to our very growing list, and I give energy to it every single day, and you give energy to it every single day by affirming it. So if, like Sekou's is abundance, wealth, and happiness. So I am abundance, wealth, and happiness. I am curiosity and courage. I got a whole bunch of C words going on. So whatever yours is, that's what we're doing all year long, every single day. It will shift. Those days when you just want to be underneath the covers, say your quality. Feel it. Not just saying it. You have to feel it also.
Mm-hmm. And also, just piggybacking on what you said, you have to know what plugs you in, that thing that fills you up. So that it requires some experimentation out here in the world. All right, so we're way over time. Do your closeout. And thanks, everyone, for being here for the anniversary celebration of Living Life in Joy. We appreciate your presence. Shout out again to New Thought Media Network for giving us this support and this opportunity. Whoop, whoop.
Yes.
All right, close us out, Rev, now.
All right, so let me close us out with just a reminder, right? The celebration continues because in about 20 minutes at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, I will be having what I call SIP at Rockland CSL, where I am the spiritual director. And my topic today is, and so it is. So that's a common phrase that we say when we give a spiritual mind treatment, an affirmative prayer in New Thought. So come, go to Rockland CSL, just click on Sunday service, or you could watch us on Facebook Live at our Facebook page, Center for Spiritual Living, Rockland County. I hope to see you there. Remember, I will be live tomorrow for SIP, and then I'll key y'all up for the rest of the week. So I look forward to seeing you all either at 11:30 at service or tomorrow on SIP with Rev Melissa. So we are living life in joy, connected to our yes.